Everyone's losing their minds about FET right now. Ocean's out, Alliance on fire, and every second post on X is saying FET's dead, bro. The chart has plummeted, but I just bought. Everybody on X is calling me an idiot. So why are they calling me an idiot? And why did I buy? Is there still immediate danger for FET? And what just happened? Let's explain in this video. Come on, let's go. Everybody has seen and lived the crash of last Friday. Every coin went down. FET as well. But where most tokens recovered, FET didn't. It actually went down more. Why did it? It spiraled down because of the news of OCEAN leaving the ASI Alliance. FET is the token of the ASI Alliance, which includes Fetch AI, where the FET token originated from, Singularity, Kudos, and OCEAN. OCEAN very abruptly left the Alliance. So, Alliance on fire, OCEAN leaving, a lot of uncertainty right after the big Friday dip. That's a formula to get any coin down. But what actually happened, and are we still in immediate danger? To understand what happened, we have to go back to June of this year. The ASI Alliance and TRNR announced a big deal for FET. TRNR was going to start a treasury. So very simply said, TRNR was going to be the Michael Saylor of FET. They announced they would buy $500 million in FET. The first initial buy was $55 million. Where the chart was supposed to skyrocket because of this buy, it didn't. It actually went down a little bit. Of course, TRNR didn't buy the 55 million in one batch. But every time they bought, someone else was selling. So the guys at FET, they decided to investigate this. And what they found? Not so good. They first thought they'd been hacked because of the pattern in the cells. There was a big community fund filled with 500 million tokens of FET. This community fund was meant for community rewards, data rewards. The reward fund was supposed to last 10 years. In 10 years' time, this 500 million tokens would have been distributed equally over these 10 years. But what happened? The fund was empty. At first, they thought about a hack, because the fund was distributed to many other wallets, and these many other wallets distributed it to even more wallets. And all these wallets, they sent the money to a CEX, Binance. Very hard to trace the money, but they did. In the end, it became clear that OCEAN, one of their own partners, one of their own ASI Alliance bros, they actually moved the money. It doesn't look good for OCEAN, and it doesn't look good for FET, because they have lost 500 million community tokens that weren't supposed to be sold, but they are now effectively sold. At least they think almost all has been sold. Of course, they went to talk with the guys of OCEAN. And the guys of OCEAN suddenly, very abruptly, put a post on their X that they're leaving the ASI Alliance, and they wrote messages to CEXs that they wanted their own ticker, OCEAN, back up. The working theory is that OCEAN at that moment sold a lot of FET to give their own token the liquidity it needed. And that's why we dumped a lot. The ASI Alliance itself has another 100 million FET tokens bridged. They cut that bridge so these 100 million tokens are secure. We, the community, can decide if we want them to burn these tokens or maybe do something else with them. But this will come later. So they found the reason why, even with a big treasury company buying FET, the price didn't go up. Because an insider was selling FET at the same time, because they knew exactly when the treasury company would buy. So the price just went stable or even down a little bit. So why did I buy this shit show? On X, many people asked themselves the same question. They were calling me an idiot. They were calling FET a scam project. Well, they were calling all sorts of things. But look, guys, the TRNR Treasury company only bought 10% of what it's willing to buy eventually. The ASI Alliance is within weeks of launching some new utility that will drive up the price of FET. That will be a flywheel for FET. And then 21 Shares announced their ETP for FET, which doesn't directly drive up the price because it's an ETP and not an ETF, but it gives incentive to drive up the price. I want to stretch. I didn't have a look at the books. I didn't have a look at all the data. I did check on chain, and the story that ASI Alliance tells us, well, it looks to be panning out. So, are we still in immediate danger? Doesn't look like that. No, because of the 500 million missing tokens, around 100 million would have been already distributed to data rewards, maximum. The remaining 400 million tokens look to be sold. Maybe they have like 40-50 million tokens left, but that wouldn't really make a big impact on the price anymore. The most logical thing is that they've sold everything to put into the liquidity for their new OCEAN token. The ASI Alliance, of course, is asking for the 500 million tokens back. If and when they come after some legal battles, they could choose to invest them into the FET price again or burn them. But burning them would make the market cap go very much lower and the coin less interesting because many people look at market cap. So maybe it would be a big buyback. And then of course there's the treasury still. The TRNR Treasury only did a 10% buy of what they want to buy. And then there's the news of the ASI Alliance actually coming up with a flywheel for the token. New utility is within weeks of launch. So to me, that's why I doubled my bet. Look, this is not financial advice. This is a risky move, of course. But I believe there's no immediate danger anymore. There's a lot of FUD on X. Yes, there is. Takes some time to mitigate that. But the ASI Alliance told us that they're busy to look at the tokenomics and what they can do in the short time to drive up the price. Because also for them, it's really important that the price is high.